welcome to my channel. Now I know I'm giving very much grandma vibes today. But I'm in the house or whatever, so I'm not going out today because it's brick city outside, and I'm just not doing that. I just thought I should come in here and show you guys like my hair. And so this is my hair right now. I wanted to show you guys how my hair came out when I dye it red, like, redo the roots and all that good stuff. Like, do you see that? So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how I get my hair to be this red. So we're just gonna go ahead into the video. Okay, so for starters, you want to make sure in a t-shirt you don't really care about. A t-shirt that you don't mind gets a little dye on it, right? You want to make sure you have your reusable latex gloves that I got from Sally Beauty. They're reusable, yes. And it's just to protect your hands from getting stained from the red dye, right? Then I also have the 40 volume developer and the high color highlights for dark hair by L'Oreal in magenta and red. And then I also have Vaseline for the corners of my head, whatever, and a plastic cap, right? And then also so this is me mixing the dye, whatever. And when you mix the dye, I use a little bit of the magenta, a little bit of the red. You can eyeball it however much you want to use. It's up to you how much hair you have, how long it is, how short it is, all that good stuff, right? And so I do this, and then I add 2 ounces of developer, and then I realized it should be 3, so I added 3 ounces later on, and I just mixed it all up until it was nice and gooey looking, right? Like the perfect texture, no lumps, no anything. So I'm just gonna do that here, and I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm always talking. So goodbye. So I just want to show you guys how I apply the Vaseline, right? You can use Vaseline or petroleum jelly. I'm just putting on my gloves just to prepare myself for the dye. And I have my mirror, obviously, so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to take some Vaseline. You can use anyone. It doesn't have to be cocoa butter, but that's just the one I have. And just a little bit around the edges of your head. I put some on the back, and I do make sure to apply some to my ears just because that's where all the dye ends up being anyway. So it's just to protect your ears from burning or staining. If you're sensitive as well, it can always burn, but that's why I say you should do dyeing your hair on like 3-day hair. So my hair has been in a bun for like 3 days, and I haven't touched it because your scalp can be very sensitive to dye. So I'm using the pads of my fingertips to rub my head, just to kind of massage it out, not my fingertips, because that will scratch my scalp and cause irritation. So I'm just using the pads of my fingers. And yeah, then I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys how awful my roots look when they're grown out. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start dyeing my hair now. So at some point you can just use your hands to apply the rest of the dye onto your head, which is what I'm doing. I'm using my hands and the brush, but I eventually just start using my hands so that I can massage it into my roots and also get the ends if you must. But it's really about the roots for me today, so I'm just making sure my roots are covered well. So that's why I started to use my hand. And you get more product sometimes when you just go in with your hand instead of the brush, and so that technique is a little more helpful for me. I just use the brush to get around my edges and the back of my head very precisely. So once I do the final touches, I just cover my hair with a plastic cap for 30 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and take my t-shirt and just wipe off all the extra redness on my face that's not my hair, and that's what the petroleum jelly or Vaseline is good for, so that you can just easily wipe it off and there's no stain. And as you can see on my arm, I did get stained. That's why the Vaseline is so good, because it doesn't stain your face. So after the 30 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse my hair out thoroughly, very thoroughly. I just hope you guys know that if you don't rinse it out thoroughly, you can have product buildup and it can really damage your scalp. So you have to make sure that you rinse it out well. And I was just massaging in the dye as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and dry with a cotton t-shirt. You know, if you have curly hair, that's the best thing to do because it prevents frizz. And I was just seeing how red my hair was, but I bleached, sweetie. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead with my avocado and macadamia shea moisture deep conditioner. It's for like restoring damaged hair, and it's really good. So I start with a small amount and then I gradually increase the amount if I need it, because it's really good. Like, it's really like, it has a lot of slip, so it's good. But yeah. So I just want to make sure all my edges are, you know, nicely secured with that deep conditioner, because your edges are important. And I just put it up in a bun, and then you can choose if you want to cover it or not. I didn't have any more plastic caps, so I just went free with it. And yeah, for 30 minutes, and that should do the trick. So this is the final product. After rinsing out the conditioner and styling as usual, I just want to show you guys my hair. I missed a little piece right there, but don't worry about that. But yeah, you know, got the dye well. So I'm gonna show you the baby hairs and just my roots, just to show you how well this dye is without bleach. Like, you don't necessarily need bleach to dye your hair. And so with that being said, final product, right? So disclaimer for sure, like, you know, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that there can be damage when you dye your hair. Even if you don't use bleach, dyeing your hair, you're gonna get damaged. Or even like if it's your first time dyeing your hair, you might not see any damage, right? Because everybody's hair texture is different. When I first dyed my hair like years ago, I never suffered any damage, right? This is my first time like ever physically seeing damage after, like, you know, taking care of it and stuff like that, like, I struggled last year because I used a different type of product I never used before, and I did see some damage, right? And so I'm still like, my hair's still recovering from that. So once I started using my products that I normally use, I never really seen any new damage. So this is just grown out damage. I want you guys to know that. But damage can happen if you dye your hair. No, because everybody's hair texture, everybody's hair is just different in general, right? So I just want to make sure I put that in there. Either way, there is ways to recover from damage, like dyeing or heat damage. I do have products that I use for that, so that's why I don't really suffer from those damages anymore. Last year I don't know, I was impulsive and I did something impulsive and I bought like hair bleach from Target, so I used that and it messed up my hair. So that was on me. I knew I shouldn't have done that, but I was being impulsive and I did it anyway. So that's on me. Yeah, like if you do research and you study and stuff, you know, like certain things that are good for your hair that aren't good for your hair. So that was on me. I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyways, right? But I do have products that I use to get rid of damage or to help with, you know, damaged hair. If you guys do want to see that, I can definitely post a video about that. But you have to give your hair like 2 or 3 days after dyeing it just to like kind of settle down, you know, like it just needs time, right? So once that happens, then I'm going to do wash day and I'll show you guys. I'm just going to give my hair some time to, you know, kind of just marinate, and then I'll start doing like treatments and stuff like that. So I do have a protein treatment that I go to. I have a homemade one that I use weekly, but if you want something like ASAP, I have something for that, and I'm gonna record it and show you guys, and I'm gonna actually show you guys that in another video. So I just have to give my hair a few days, and then I'll show you guys how I recover from and what my routine is. Okay, so thank you guys so much for tuning in again and watching, and thank you for the new subscribers. I got 4 new subscribers from my last video, so thank you. And I would also like to say it's a journey, right? Like I'm learning to do YouTube and all that stuff. So thank you for being with me on my little journey, and I'll see you in the next one.